Welcome to Giants Tarot on today, the 30th of August. At Giants Tarot, we look at the date and month of each day and do not insert that information into the current year, the current timeline, or the current astrological environment. From the most ancient times, some of the greatest minds who have walked amongst us have observed, noted, systemized, and scheduled what they could see and begin to understand. I call these souls the giants. But life goes on, and there are still giants. Scientists, researchers, artists, writers continue to reach up and out into the mysteries of our existence, seeking truth, clarity, beauty, and reason. Giants Tarot simply shares with you items associated with each day of each month. No predictions or interpretations really, just the items. Whatever your dilemma or contemplation, be it love, career, home, or external world, deeper insight brings cognitive content to expand your personal view. Today really is the beginning of the rest of your life, so let's stand upon the shoulders of the giants. From here we may see something we could see from nowhere else. Be the giant you want to see. Let us begin. The first reading is from Glenville Kleiser for August 30. Justify your spiritual birthright. Every noble thought is stamped with immortality. Every good desire is a promise of what you can be. I've got an ant crawling across the front of my glasses. Every high aspiration is an intimation of possible achievement. Let the controlling motive of your life be to do the will of God and to serve him in sincerity and truth. Then there will be revealed to you, gradually and surely, a great and holy purpose for which you have been equipped. As the light of true spiritual knowledge illuminates your mind, the darkness of doubt will disappear, and you will become conscious of new and wonderful power. The source of true happiness is not to possess, but to serve. Be resolute in your desire for truth and righteousness, and thus justify your spiritual birthright. Right. The next reading is from a small book called, I think, Daily Meditations from the Theosophical Society. We, accustomed to rather follow the thought of our interculator or correspondent than the words he clothes it in, concern ourselves. I ain't going to repeat it. It's good. Think about that. The birthday book, God knows which one this is from. This is a birth date which may confer occult powers. There is love of philosophy and periodic flashes of insight, which are as valuable as they are unaccountable. Gain comes through any occupation dealing with the supply of water, power, such as oil, gas, etc. A special vitality can infuse new life into seemingly moribund propositions. A partner from stage, screen, or concert platform is likely. Today, being the 30th of August, we are in the time of Virgo. So a Virgo 3, which is a Virgo from the 30th, September the 3rd, 12th or 21st, but we're talking August the 30th here. Worldly success is the astrologically appointed destiny of Virgo 3s. Endowed with tremendous driving ambition and a restless urge to go further, work harder and be better, you are unfailingly strong-willed, fit for leadership, ready to organise and practical. Go for it today on the 30th. And the last reading I have for you is from a book called 365 Things to Know by Clifford Parker. For the 30th of August, what were the 7 wonders of the world? The 7 wonders of the ancient world were the pyramids of Egypt, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the Colossus of Rhodes, the Temple of Diana at Ephesus, the statue of Jupiter at Athens, the tomb of Mausolus, and the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Of these, only the pyramids survive today. The largest of the pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Cheops, took 100,000 slaves 20 years to build, and it was built 6,600 years ago solely to provide Cheops with a tomb. Well, we're all wondering about that, aren't we? But this is what the book says, so that's what I'm reading to you. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were built by King Nebuchadnezzar inside his palace grounds. 4 acres of gardens were laid out in terraces, which stood on arches 75 feet high. The Colossus of Rhodes was a gigantic bronze statue of Helios, the sun god, which stood at the entrance of the harbour on the island of Rhodes, looking out over the Aegean Sea. Finished in 260 BC, it took the sculptor Chares 12 years to build. After standing for 60 years, it was wrecked by an earthquake and lay in pieces for centuries until the Saracens sold it for scrap. The Temple of Diana at Ephesus is what is now Turkey, contained a statue of the goddess Diana, which was supposed to have fallen from heaven. It was destroyed, along with the city, by the Goths in AD 262. We know that the statue of Jupiter looked like because it appeared on ancient Greek coins, but today there is no trace of it. With a body said to have been carved in ivory and wearing a robe made of gold, the statue was made for the temple at Olympia by the great sculptor Phidias, who died in 432 BC. The tomb of King Mausolus, from which we get our word mausoleum, was built by his widow at Halicarnassus, a Greek city in Asia Minor, which is now Turkey, in the 4th century BC. It stood 140 feet high and was topped by great statues of Mausolus and his queen. Some of the smaller statues from it are in the British Museum. The Lighthouse of Alexandria in Egypt stood at the entrance to the harbour on the island of Pharos. From its location, the Greeks borrowed the word Pharos to mean lighthouse. Built of white stone by Ptolemy, the first in the 3rd century BC, it soared 400 feet above the harbour. Well, what do you know? The next thing to read to you is some numerology. Many systems of numerology, I tell you. But anyway, here we go. For the number 30, the mission for the number 30 is: individual self-expression is necessary for your happiness, as it is for all threes. You could be a manager, but you don't like hard work. Fond of dramatics, and could act or be a mimic. Set in opinions, always thinks it is right. Has good imagination and possesses some intuitive qualities, but should guard against all obsessions. Should not take excursions into the mystical realm. Well, we'll see about that. The angel number 30 says, resonates with the vibrational essence of both numbers 3 and 0. Number 3 is indicative of a direct connection with source energy and the ascended masters. 3 is the number of creativity, self-expression, spontaneity, and communication. When this number appears anywhere, it brings with it an energy of creative exuberance, expansion, and inspiration. Number 0 is the number of deep mystery and mystical paradox. We generally use 0 to indicate nothing or absence, but in the spiritual sense, which is how our angels use it, number 0 is associated with circularity, eternity, and infinity. Another reading here from an old book about the 30th day of a month, or the number 30. This is a number of thoughtful deduction, retrospection, and mental superiority over one's fellows. But as it seems to belong completely to the mental plane, the persons it represents are likely to put all material things on one side, not because they have to, but because they wish to do so. For this reason, it is neither fortunate nor unfortunate, for either depends on the mental outlook of the person it represents. It can be all-powerful, but it is just as often indifferent, according to the will or desire of the person. The next thing to speak about are the decanates. I've got a reading for Virgo and I just can't find it. I've sort of written it myself anyway. It does look, this is a work in progress. I'm not going to polish this up like crazy, and I'd like to have brass numbers and, no. Otherwise it just won't get out. So I'm just starting it. It's all cardboard and stuff. You don't care. I know you don't say it. We don't care. What have you got to say? This is what I'm telling you. So for every astrological month, and we're in Virgo, that month is divided into 3 10-day segments, and each of the 10-day segments has a tarot card associated with it. So we are now in the first decan of Virgo, and this first decan goes from the 23rd of August to the 2nd of September, but some sources say that it's the 24th of August to the 3rd of September. Whatever it is, we're in the thick of it now, okay? The first decan of Virgo is the best example of the extremely varied Virgo type that seems to lack any clear, unique, uniting principle. First decan Virgos tend to be unassuming, yet some are constantly talking and bragging. They tend to be fussy and orderly, yet many turns this idea around by their bohemian exterior and messy homes. This decan is the decan of achievement, and it's also the decan of attempted perfection. The back office, where where I can note as many readings as I've got sources from, is coming. That was lifted from a site, but I do know what it is, and I will be able to sort of note all of these things down. Next one along is Cartomancy. For the purpose of the Giants readings, Cartomancy provides a birth symbol for every day of the year. The reading for today is from a book where only a copy of the pages remain with me. I have lost the original and have no idea of the name of the book or the author. I'm sorry. If anyone knows, tell me, and I'll do the right thing, re-copyright, whatever that may be. So the birth symbol for today is the 9 of Hearts. In Cartomancy, I always say that, I want to tell you about oop oop a doop, it's the moles, that's 9, right? 9 includes all numbers and all planets. 9 reaches the end of the single digits, so it is also the beginning of another cycle of 9, which always terminates but always reproduces itself. The ancients linked 9 to the planet Mars because it embraces all as opposed to being just one. It is called the card of disappointment. But it actually is a number and a card of absolute fulfillment. The true 9 is dedicated to service, to all everywhere. 9 gives of itself totally, and due to this constant outpouring, it is an emotional force and influence. Okay. So the reading for today, which is the 30th of August, Virgo, the birthday number gives an indication to the development of talent, but the approach and expression of any ability are always mental. Should cultivate self-confidence by making a definite choice and working on its technical foundation. The stage attracts many of this date, and some reach a high place through perfection of form. In writing, facts are more productive than fiction, can also succeed as nurses, chemical researchers, geologists, and horticulturalists. And today is a birthday of Fred McMurray and Joan Blondell. Most of you wouldn't even know who they are. I don't care. I'm just reading the words. It's good. And to match up with this 9 of Hearts, which I haven't really gone into a lot, but it'll come up again throughout the year, the 9 of Hearts. I'll have it better next time. Is the Lenormand card and the Nine of Hearts is on the Lenormand card, and that's all about news and messages. It says, don't give up, news is coming. What actions do you need to take? So it's talking about preparation. Consider the direction you're going in. Is your love interest only here for the short term? No. Be prepared, things are going to happen quickly. So these are my readings for you today. That's it. I've got a lot more. I'll get better. Thanks very much. See you tomorrow.